Welcome to another Drop to Kickoff. It's just me and Nathan today. Me being Nick, of course, the handsome one, and Nathan being Nathan Williamson, the handsome Nathan. Just us two hanging out. Nathan is back in God's own time zone, which is UTC plus 10, I believe. And we just got to. We don't really have a plan. We don't have a plan. We kind of have a plan. We've got a couple of things to talk about.
A little bit of a plan.
Yeah, a little bit of a plan. Yeah, we're playing it off. But Nathan, hello, nice to meet you. You're back home, back in your own bed after Australia got knocked out of the Women's World Cup.
That's it. It's good to be back.
Yeah. How good is it to be back?
It's funny. Like, I left Australia and things were looking pretty bleak heading into Rugby Championship, where we were like, oh shit, all right, we're playing this. Funnily enough, I left and the narrative was, we're playing this all-powerful nation at a ground that we haven't won in X amount of years. And I've come back, and whilst that second half of that narrative is still there, I'll go, we're playing this all-powerful nation at this ground we haven't won in years. God, the narrative's so much better. It's so nice to be back here. Like, you can sense the positivity, you can sense the sort of optimism around a week like this and like a moment like this. So, man, it's just good to be back and sort of keep talking some rugby, but on, as you said, on the correct time zone.
Yeah. You said a bit of buzz. Yeah. I wouldn't say I'm calm, Nathan. I'm feeling a bit nervous.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, feeling a bit nervous. But I'm glad that we haven't gone overboard. Peter Fitzsimons hasn't got out the typewriter to talk about how we could put 50 on the Wallabies, or
put 50 on the All Blacks.
The All Blacks in Park.
We don't want 50 put on us. It might happen, but we don't want it.
Yeah, we don't want it. Okay, so now you're back. It's not over. The finals this weekend, but do you want to have a little reflect on the Women's World Cup?
Yeah, you look at the campaign in itself, you lose 2 games and both of those teams you lose to are in the final. So I feel like Australia hit its ceiling in terms of quarterfinal and can be sort of happy with that, but knowing that, you've got to lift a couple of levels to get into the final because, God, 2 really good games of the weekend. I know you caught some of it, Nick, but geez. Canada came out and just blitzed New Zealand. The pace they played is stupid for a team that is still sort of building its identity as a wider program. But they're just screw it. We're just going to throw the ball around and rely on the natural athletes that we have, whether it's the big forwards up front or the skillful outside backs that've sort of done their time in the Sevens program. And they're electric. They are unbelievable. Going over to England, who again all powerful, riding the home support, and there is serious home support behind this English side. That's crazy over there. I'm not sure if I sort of got that across with any of my instant reactions because my brain was pretty mud when I was doing it. I was recording that stuff 11 p.m. at night, and I was like, I'm not sure if this is making sense, but I'm going to just keep going. But in all seriousness, there is so much support behind this team, and I think that's reflective of the 80,000 that will be at Twickenham. There's going to be at least 78,000 are going to be in England shirts. Donning the red cowboy hat for Ellie Kildown, who was insane against France, scored 2 nice tries, or just sort of in, custom merch throughout the stands. They're going to be riding this English side home because this is the massive game for them. This is the game they've just got to win. For them, they need a win in terms of take their program a bit further and should essentially provide that complete return on investment on essentially a decade's worth of making them professional and making them the hallmark side in women's rugby. But also Canada would be such a cool story if they can win. A lot of it is how good they'd be underfunded, but Canada rugby just in itself is underfunded. It's not a sport that they follow over there. So to have them in a World Cup final, if they can win it, that could all of a sudden open up a brand new market and just, once again, take the game to another level. So it's a cool narrative either way. But yeah, it's again fun to sort of get back and reflect on sort of 6 weeks that was.
Yeah. Well, lucky you got to gallivant around Europe or the British Isles. while we had to chill out down here. But I guess we'll talk a bit more about Women's World Cup after the weekend. But for now, who do you think will win, Nathan?
I still think England. Like, Canada are good. They're really good, and they'll push them all the way. I think their last two matchups have sort of been within 10 to 12 points, but I feel like there's just something special about an English side which has all this momentum, has all this support behind it, and again, been building what has essentially been 7 or 8 years for this moment. I think they get it done. And this is a prediction that might not come through next week, but in the sort of coming weeks and months. After the Lionesses won the Euros, they named one of the tube lines the Lioness line. I think if they English win, the line that goes to Twickenham on the underground will be called the Red Rose line. But I'm still an idea. Shout out Joe Harvey, because that was a great idea, and I think that'd make sense.
Yeah, that's awesome. And France, so the game I caught was France and England. It was quite an enjoyable game, quite a good game. You'd be super frustrated if you're French, and that English team is just unstoppable sometimes. It's like the South African Maul when it gets going. It's kind of like watching England play. But France are in the bronze medal match. If they win that, it'll be their 8th third place at a Women's World Cup. And there's been 9 Women's World Cups.
See, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy. They're just constantly the bridesmaid in that regard.
Yeah.
Insane.
Not even that. They miss the flowers.
Yeah.
When he gets chucked.
I know, they get a step on the podium. That's it.
Yeah, I guess so. Anyway, let's kind of.
I think New Zealand win that game, by the way.
All right.
New Zealand too good.
Let's get crack-a-lacking. Let's not talk about France failing again to the detriment of world rugby. So, I guess what do you want to talk about next? Do you want to talk about Super AU? Do you want to talk about Bledisloe? We probably should talk about the big note thing. Bledisloe this weekend.
That old thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And before we continue, like the team will be announced tomorrow, Arvo. So keep your ears out for Talking Team. So we'll do their pod tomorrow about the team, talking about the team and the Kiwi team. But we have no team in front of us. All we have are musings and media to go off.
Those damn dirty leaks.
I mean, I don't really want to jinx it. Actually, now I'm talking about it, I don't really want to talk about Bledisloe. I don't want to jinx it at all. But
it's the B word. We don't want to. It's like when teams used to go out and say,
Bowden?
refuse to say the All Blacks. Bowden?
Is Bowden the B word? Barrett?
Bernard? Do we bring Bernard Foley back? Bobby V? He's ruled out with a calf.
Yeah. Okay, let's start there. All right, all these injuries, like, we can't catch a break. So Callaway got announced as doing a calf strain today. Bobby Valentini's out. And there's 1,000 others. Peach, whatever, off the top of my head. I'm still counting Dave Brecky. But how do we, like, how many?
Might be a stretch.
Well, I mean, he retired because he kept getting injured. And he played this season, so...
Yeah, fair.
So, I mean, New Zealand suffering the same thing. If only Finn was on, not working. But New Zealand got the same amount of injuries?
Oh, they've got a bunch of guys coming back. So I think the count is 7. If you include... Sorry, 8 if you include the sort of 3 that I mentioned, and then Langy Gleeson, Noah, Dylan Peach, Tom Wright, Charlie Cow.
Right.
They've had some bad injuries, the All Blacks. They're just coming out of like a really bad period. In the sense of, so out they have Tabataba Nawai is essentially, I think, the main one.
Roygaard is coming back, isn't he? They're starting 9 now.
But that's the thing. You have, again, the guys that are missing in South Africa include Patrick Tuibolotto, Cam Roygaard, Cortez Ratsma, I think was playing but was in doubt. And Cody Taylor, I'm pretty sure, missed that game as well. So,
yeah, right.
Like, they've and like, whilst having sort of Caleb Clark, Noah Hotham, who's out as well, Luke Jacobson, all missing time throughout this rugby championship. We just got screwed by the fact that they're just back at the wrong time. They've just come back just for this sort of period.
Yeah. And all
'Cause,
we
like,
get is Skelton coming in for Perth. That's all we get.
That's all we get. I mean, to be fair, it's a good get to have. But
Yeah.
I mean, heading into the South Africa series, like I think it was only like Kale. I think before that second test, it was like Kale, maybe Kale, Lalesio, and sort of Gleason, and that was it. Like, it was pretty good, and then we just had like they just went like bang, 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 bang. Like, as soon as we lost,
Did
like
you say
Tom.
South Africa. I mean, did Valentini play? Yeah, Valentini played.
Yeah, he played that second game.
Yeah.
But like that second South Africa game, we lost Tom Wright to an ACL, Peach to the jaw. I think Valentini redid the calf. So there's one more I can't think of right now, but like that one just sort of murdered us, and we've just been on a downward slope. Like, I don't know with these injuries how long it is, but like I think we're just being more sort of upfront with it than usual. Like, we're actually giving people a heads up. Oh yeah, they're not playing, rather than wait till Thursday.
Yeah.
Because like there could be a bunch of those All Blacks out as well. We just won't know till those teams get named, which is probably Thursday morning, or by the time you're listening to this, you probably already know it. You just sort of you can put the dots together.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess how do we feel about this game? I already said I'm kind of nervous, and I'm nervous about the amount of changes. I remember the second South Africa game. Like, I wasn't mad. There was that talk about where we robbed, which I never subscribed to. And one reason was we just had too many injured guys. Like, we were holding on. Tane Edmund and James O'Connor were playing 10 and or 12. No one really knew. But yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit nervous, but I guess I'm hopeful. And I'm glad that we haven't really gotten we being Australians haven't really got on this is our chance. But I think Paul Cully was right in Sydney Morning Herald when he said this is, if you want in the Bledisloe, it's got to be this year. You can't throw away this opportunity.
I don't think it has to be this year. Like, I think our team's still getting better throughout. Like, we could have certain players back for 2027 that we won't that we'll get to and talk to later. But like, this team is just keeps getting better. The All Blacks are a bit more unstable, and we don't know how long that will continue for. Like, reality is they've got to play. They're gonna have to play a game at a Bledisloe away from Eden Park at some point. They can't just keep playing it there.
Yeah,
they cowards. Yeah, when they've essentially got a big series against South Africa next year, they could go into a Bledisloe battered up and coming off similar losses to what they have right then. So, like, I don't know. I never subscribe to that theory. Like, I think given a realistic position of where this team is, I expect the All Blacks to be too good at Eden Park. But for Perth, absolutely there's a chance. But I think the whole thing is, with no Valentini, no Kellaway, if the reports are true, we can say we're getting Jake Gordon back, but James O'Connor's off a flight from England.
They're saying he's going to start.
Which, look, bold, but I can get behind it. He's done. He showed his stability in that sort of second Argentina test.
I could be just quickly on James O'Connor. Sorry, you're mid flow there, but James O'Connor. It's funny how, and I've said this before, a lot of the fly halves just kind of seem to be happy to be distributors under Joe's style. Like, Noah and Tom Lyon are just there, pass it on to, Ikitau, or whoever the inside center was, and just let them do their work. And it was funny when James O'Connor was playing, because that's the first time under Joe Schmidt where I've actually seen the fly half try to run the show and call plays. So it is really interesting. I'm really on the bench on the finishers kind of concept. I think that's so pivotal in rugby now. You wear down the starters and then the people on the bench, not as technically proficient, but just have that extra pizzazz or composure. Like, it's like a completely new set of ideas and tactics into the game coming in real late. But I think, anyway, about James O'Connor is that I am quite excited to see him start because he just has had that composure that none of the other fly halves composure, but also eyes up abilityness. I'm not really sure, but he keeps his head up during the game, so I'm quite happy to see him start. And it's crazy that it's like when Quaid came back. Maybe this is how we should run rugby in Australia. We deliberately kind of exile or quasi-exile great talent just to bring them back.
It's like they need to find themselves in Japan and then they come back better players, or a French jail if you're James O'Connor.
Yeah. But I also got to say, sorry, I think it's really hard, like Dono not playing, Ben Donaldson, bit amusing because he would be probably my second pick.
Yeah, I thought he'd be involved in this squad. I was quite surprised that they sort of sent him back to the force, but look, maybe it's a sort of a case of keep him in Perth for the next. I'd say keep him in Perth for a fortnight and then draft him into the squad for the second test. You essentially you kind of go, well, we know we're not going to use you for the first one, so James, play this first game, and then head back to England because Leicester need you, or that might be a negotiation. I don't know. Personally, I would have had Donaldson on the side, but again, I would have had a lot of things that sort of haven't happened this year, and I've been proven wrong. So hey,
yeah,
Joe just might know what he's talking about more than me, just a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. But sorry, if you want to go back to your mid-rant that's about 4 minutes old now.
I can't remember what I said. I think
it was Gordon at 9, Jock at 10, Jorgo on wing.
I think my point was there's a lot of changes there, so it's going to be tough to take down the All Blacks, particularly at Eden Park. But I think if we're looking at how the hell do we win this, start well for once, please. Because there's 2 points there. One, we can't keep chasing a game, and we just can't keep finding ourselves in those positions where we need goddamn miracles. And two, you're so right about the finishers product, and it's so funny because I think we looked at the South Africans a couple of years ago when they were like, they're not replacements, they're finishers, and we're like, ooh, you guys are just being wankers. And it's like, oh wait, now that we have a coach that actually leans into it and has shown that works, all of a sudden we're like, oh yeah, the finishers are a good concept. It's just like, fuck, that's just modern rugby 101. We were just late to it. It's crazy. But I think for a psychological factor as well, to come up with a third bonus point, imagine if we go into halftime and it's even 5 or 10 points in it. Do you think the Australians will go in there and go, 5 or 10 points? No, we've come back from that. We've now bring on all our sort of heavy hitters and our sort of basically our sort of dynamite squad, just all these explosive guys that can make a difference. Yeah, we can get this. And the All Blacks might be thinking, we haven't got enough points. They're bringing on Angus Bell and Taniela Tupou right now, and we haven't got enough points on the board now. Geez, we got to start quick. We got to sort of get on top of this game real fast, and just maybe that sort of unsettles them. So I think that's why, again, if they're ever going to have a chance, it's the most obvious statement in the world, but it's the most crucial statement. Start fast, please, or start solid. Keep with them, and then again allow your bench to work its magic.
I agree wholeheartely. But another thing I want to see is the discipline's been so good, and it just fell apart against the Argentines, the Argies. Yeah. I remember talking to you, I think after the Lions game, about how Australian sides would just go to water, they'd just lose the plot every now and again. Under Rennie, it would happen every 2 to 3 games. But with Schmidt, that's kind of been taken out. But I really felt that coming back during the Argies game. We just didn't know how to deal with the game. So do you think that will stick around? Did you? I mean, you're watching the games. Did you kind of go, this is a weird endemic issue?
I don't think it was that sort of. I think it was just a one-off. And there is a pattern in sort of Schmidt sides which they do have those sort of one-off brain explosions, or just something goes wrong and they end up just finding themselves in the back foot. The Argentina test last year where they shipped 70 points on us, or something stupid like that. That was sort of one out. I think just sort of a case of a team finding itself just, again, frustrated and just sort of, as you said, losing the plot a little bit. But I think they would have sort of learnt from that and probably sit back and go, okay, that was pretty silly of us. So, again, you get an experienced guy like a cornerback. If Alatoa starts as well, James Slipper starting, like there's a bit more experienced heads around there. Even though, I'm sorry, James Slipper was starting the last one, but Alatoa in particular, you get him back. Just sort of a bit more experienced heads that can calm it down and be like, all right, let's not just play chaos ball here. Let's actually go back to our systems and back ourselves.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope that doesn't come out again, because that was you just kind of knew it was falling apart. Or I did. And I guess another question I've got for you. I mean, also spending time with a Kiwi in Brisbane correspondent, Finn Morton, about, because you watched the Destruction game. That probably should call it the Destruction Wellington, where the Springboks absolutely took out the All Blacks. I mean, what impact? Why do you think that happened? What was the feeling? Was it a one-off? Was it a huge deficit? And then will they really want to come back?
Like, it'd be very rich for me to sit here and be like, oh yeah, no, that's the new norm for him. Like, they lost the plot and they lose the plot again. Like, I kind of have to go down the same realm of they just had one of those games where get a bit less experience on the field, and say a less experienced coach has been in the situation a lot with the Crusaders. Maybe just didn't know how to handle the game better. But like the sort of history books tell us one thing, is that the All Blacks always respond after generally, if they go through a big loss or a surprising loss or draw, generally their next game's at at Eden Park, and generally that's when they come out and they absolutely go and pump aside. So I sort of will sort of turn to the history books here and say I think they'll come out and absolutely be at their best.
Right. Okay. Do you think South Africa destroying them was just like, what do you think caused it? I've never seen, like, the only other time I've seen the floodgates open on New Zealand or the Kiwis looking panicked is the semi-final in Japan against England.
I mean, like, it's tough to say. I mean, also, when South Africa's on, they are on, and they are so hard to stop. Like, I think, well, again, funnily enough, we said on the pod beforehand, just get rid of the novelty shit and go back to what made them work. Hard and fast running through that, essentially building their game through that, packing the set piece, and again, the Kiwis just folded. So, like, again, it happens when sides just get sort of rolling. All you need to be in this Rugby Championship is like 5 or 10% off, and you just get burnt. Like, I mean, South Africa had that lapse against us. The only thing that saved them from a massive scoreline was the fact that they were ahead by so much. Like, Argentina, again, essentially have had that throughout the team, throughout the sort of Rugby Championship. They're a bit roller coaster and a bit scatty, but like, again, it just shows how close everything is. Like, if you just off your game for 5 to 10 minutes, it can just snowball, and you all of a sudden just find yourself trying to stop a train with a stop sign.
Yeah, totally. But speaking of a close competition, what's the best thing to do with a competition that's so close, Nathan? Would you renew it for another season? Would you do your best? Would you double down on it? No, you'd can it. So there were reports in the paper that because New Zealand and South Africa want to do their tour again, that Rugby Championship's not going to happen next year. The Wallabies are going to figure out some sort of tour thing, whether that means Argentina will come here for 3 games. And then there'll be the World Cup in 2027. Then 2028, they're not sure what's happening. And Rugby Championship will be back for 2029. So let's unpack this. Let's talk about this side of things. I mean, the Rugby Championship needed a bit of a shake-up, but I'm not sure it needed this.
Look, it's a weird one, right? Because hindsight's a wonderful thing. When they've obviously these decisions don't get made in like a flash, being like, all right, we're doing it now, bang. Like, these would have been in the works for 6 to 9 months. When, let's face it, a lot of people were saying, "We'll take or leave this format. It's a bit meh." And now they've all of a sudden just ended up with just 4 amazing teams that are playing some great rugby. Also,
Yeah.
save me the bullshit from the North being like, oh, Six Nations, Road Championship now feels like a real competition. Fuck off. You have 4 teams that are competitive, and that's it. Wales on a good day. So is it Italy or,
Yeah.
Like, you're basically us. You're basically the Rugby Championship if we had Fiji and Japan. Like, quite down over there. I think the tours, like, it's going to be tough for Australia in 2026. Like, you get there's, I think still, if my understanding is correct, there still will be games against South Africa and New Zealand. It just will be one-off games. A one-off game against South Africa and maybe 2 against New Zealand. So not much change. You just kind of maybe lose 1 South Africa game and 1 Argentina game, I guess. So look, it means more Fiji and Japan games, which, I mean, Fiji always get a crowd, which is nice. Japan, Eddie, it's always a story there. I think what's more important is for 2028, like, we have proper three test series against South Africa and New Zealand. Like, if that's the trade-off, I can cop that. I can live with 26 being a bit of a builder year under Les Kiss. Like, we have a new coach. We're going to want some games where you can afford to maybe, I don't want to say rotate, but maybe be off your game, maybe learn your new system before playing some of the best in the world, perhaps.
Yeah.
So, like, it might honestly end up being a blessing in disguise that we just have, while they're doing that, we have games against Fiji, Japan, games we should be able to sort of bank some wins, bank some confidence under. If it's Kiss at that stage, if not, it just should be, because I don't see why Joe Schmidt would stick around. And then you can sort of then build into South Africa and New Zealand and kind of go from there, right? And then the Nations Championship as well. So, like, there'll still be good opposition that we play, but yeah, a little sort of, I don't say short-sighted, but they kind of just, they took a risk and they've in the short term been burnt for it. But, like, that's South Africa. The South Africa New Zealand series is going to be epic next year. Like, it's going to be great rugby. It's just a shame it's, I think, in South Africa, so it's on shit time zones for us.
Yeah, it is in South Africa. It's a funny one to me, hey, like, because they are kind of shooting themselves in the foot, like, by playing each other in that tour. It'll kind of be, if they keep doing it, it would turn a bit into what cricket is, right? Or increasingly becoming. You're just playing the best teams again and again, and the best teams are better than everyone else, and you're like, oh, okay. And it's not that much excitement. Whereas I think it would be better if, maybe what Australia could do out of this is go, okay, we'll just have a little cup tournament with Argentina and Fiji. Oh, sorry. Argentina, Fiji, and Japan. And we can host it. And there'll be 3 games each. And I'd say all the games would sell out.
Potentially, like,
except for Argentina and Japan if they played each other.
Yeah, that'll be a tough one. Like, I've heard this sort of thrown around, and by smarter people than me, but we could legitimately be sort of getting to a period where we end up being almost like football, but again, a more condensed football in the sense of we have sort of 3 or 4 test windows, and we just sort of cram all our games into that, and that's what sort of ends up happening. We sort of schedule in tours or schedule in sort of games whenever we can throughout that. So I think this sort of is the first step of that sort of changing sort of world landscape when it comes to Test rugby, just sort of seeing its shape. So, which sucks because, like, I think the Rugby Championship is a cool concept, and particularly when we've sort of brought Argentina into the mix. So,
I think what's always sucked about it is the time zones.
Yeah. But that's the reality of being partnered with South Africa, right? Those ones are always going to suck.
Yeah. And I think really if you had to redo it, I don't know what South Africa would do with Argentina, but it should have been us, New Zealand, Fiji, the island nations, and Japan. So all kind of close together, not too far away. I think it's only an 8-hour flight to Japan, all in pretty much the same time zone. It would have been sick.
Yeah, I think it's only 1 or 2 hours difference anyway, so it's perfect.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so that's Canning RC. I don't know if you've got any more thoughts on that. But speaking of international rugby, shout out Chile. They've got 20,000 people rocking up to their game against Samoa for the, I think the repechage final. Oh, no,
so,
repechage. But whoever wins qualifies.
So because they played the first game against Samoa in Salt Lake, I want to say, something in America, and it ended up being a 32-all draw. So it ended up. So this is now just a winner takes all into the Westminster, which is sick, and kind of what I hope the Bledisloe would be. Like, can you imagine we draw at Eden Park and then at Perth it's a winners takes all.
Yeah,
whoever wins the game just gets the Bledisloe. Yeah. That'd be mad.
I hope it wouldn't be another draw.
Oh fuck! Can you imagine 160 minutes we don't have a winner? Fuck.
Yeah. But shout out Chile. And while we're on shout outs, Nathan, anyone you want to shout out?
There's this sort of guy who might be coming back. Might be coming back to Union in 2027. We'll give a shout out to Mark and Tawase. That'll chestnut.
Shout out Mikey Mark.
Shout out Marky Mark. It's so funny because it's one of those things when you sort of, again, I don't want to harp on the trip too much, but when you remove yourself from the bubble that is the East Coast of Australia, you realize how little anyone gives a shit about NRL or AFL anywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
Like nobody cares. So when you see all of them arc up, be like, oh, I can't believe they do this. You know what? I wouldn't pick him for the Kangaroos or State of Origin. Lad, no one cares around the world. No, like nobody cares outside the East Coast of Australia. Like, again, Mark's built his profile up in Australia. Sure, he's going to build it even up more returning to the Wallabies, and if I put him straight into the squad for the spring tour next year, get him used to the game again, play him against one of the shitter nations, and then he goes signs for a French or Japanese club, makes $1 million a year casually, and then if he's playing well enough throughout that period, you just bring him back for World Cup. Like, this is like, people harp on it so much about all rugby does is talk about how good it is worldwide and how the opportunities it has. Well, you just had Mungo Ball basically have one of the best seasons a winger's had in the NRL for a long time. Win a lot of things, not even sort of have a premiership locked up, and he's just gone, oh no, I'm coming back for a World Cup. This means this doesn't mean enough to me. Like, I don't care about Origin. I care. Yeah, he just rocked up, killed it. It's like,
yeah, I'm done. I already got. He
wanted
Rookie of the Year and they didn't give it to him.
Pardon?
He wanted Rookie of the Year and they wouldn't give it to him. I still like to think that he saw Victor Radley's text and went, "Oh my fucking god, who is this guy? Hectic with a K, hectic lad. Oh, I'm fucking sick of this guy."
An 8 ball. I don't want to play pool. What are we doing? What is that?
Yeah.
I'm kidding. He's a Union player, so he knows what it is. He knows what an 8 ball is.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway.
I wanted to shout out someone, and that shout out is, of course, Julie T. Shout out Julie T. Now, before leaving the league convo, I saw probably one of my favorite tweets I've seen recently. Favorite tweet on Twitter. And there's this idea around it on internet memes. If you don't know, it's called shit posting, and it's basically you make a post to try to rile up the most amount of people. Like, you're just trying to get attention for your awful opinion, but you know what you're doing, and it's quite tongue-in-cheek still. So you're not just being an ignoramus, you're not just being a troll, but yeah, you kind of know what you're doing. And this tweet was by my second favorite rugby podcast, Rugby Report Card. So I can shout out Blake, who would have been behind this, because I don't think Jim would have posted this. And with the news of Marky Mark coming back, they posted this, and I'm going to read it out. And it gets funnier and funnier. Don't hate the Wallabies Cup 2027 backline of 9 McDermott. Okay, reasonable. Fine. 10 Cleary, as in Nathan Cleary.
We can dream. We can dream.
We can dream. We'll give him less than 2 years to get used to playing rugby, but whatever. 11 Jorgensen, okay. Ikitau Swali, okay, yep. Nawakani Tawase at 14, okay. And right, 15.
Tawase.
I haven't said it for a while.
Yeah, calm down, Blocker Edge. Jesus Christ.
So, okay, so Cleary, pretty funny. But wait, it gets better. because the bench is named. 21 Lonigan.
Look, he
22
could be there.
Lucas. Who is that Ben Lucas?
No, Isaac Lucas. Who will be at the World Cup in 2 years' time. He won't be playing for Australia, but he'll be at the World Cup.
Yeah, playing for Japan. 23 Pataya.
That
Geordie, my
what
God.
could have been, man?
It's worse. I know. I really feel we have to unpack this.
Where do you want to start?
Okay. Pataya. He will have to have a couple killer seasons. I don't see him coming back in. Although, if you play centre, maybe.
He's versatile. I'll give him that. If he goes in the top 14, scores like 12 tries a season, or like 8 to 10, minimum 8 to 12 tries a season, you kind of be like, all right, shit, let's have a look at him. But God, like generally, no one comes back from the NFL like better in terms of like build wise for rugby union. Generally, they've had to put up so much muscle that they lose speed. So, and his injury history has always just held him back. So, God, we have so many better outside backs or 23 options.
Well, I mean, if he was playing centre, like inside centre, okay, maybe, because that's, I think, our weakest position in terms of depth. Okay, but still hilarious. I still nowhere near the squad. I mean, put Dalguna in there. Lucas, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, he was playing okay in Super Rugby. I don't know why he's just there in the squad. Considering who we've got. Potter, Edmed, I mean, probably be better under 30. Like, a lot more options.
Donaldson. Like, the thing with Isaac Lucas is, Isaac Lucas has always been this metaphorical white whale of, he went away early and he's away in Japan, so there's enough of that blind spot where you don't see him play all the time, but you just see the highlights and you think that he is this, like, godlike playmaker. Is he good in Japan? Yeah. Well, he's sold in Japan. So's Bernard Foley, who's 35, 36.
Yeah.
But is he that old? I don't want to sell him that short. But, like, it's 36. The reality is, because you don't see him that much, he looks amazing. It's like the same with, like, everyone being like, you know who the Wallabies need? Sean McMahon. And, like, Sean McMahon, people call this last year. We need Sean McMahon. He hasn't played a game in 2 years. Because he's away from it and you don't see that. See how, like, Reece Hodge. Everyone call, what's Reece Hodge doing? Let's get him back. He did his ACL. He hasn't played for, like, 12 months. But, like, it's Isaac Lucas. Yeah. But, like, all rugby that isn't Super Rugby, we have a blind spot to. So we don't sort of think about it and we just sort of remember the good times.
I didn't know he did his knee. I mean, I'm on the Reece Hodge train. But he was good. He was better than both of those guys when they're all playing in Australia.
Oh, anyway, but again, Hodge for Bayonne, has played 7 games since moving over there.
Oh, jeez.
His last game was June 2024.
Wow.
8.
Jeez.
Oh,
he's really done his ACL then.
Oh, he's really, like, I'm not sure his ACL, it's bad an injury, but, like, again, he's had essentially 4 starts in the last 2 years.
That's crazy.
Like, but again, it's that classic situation of out of sight, out of mind, and everyone remembering stuff with, or in this case, gold-tinted glasses.
Yeah. And then we go Lonigan. I mean, look, Lonigan is not a crazy shout. It's not crazy.
Like, Lonigan probably debuts against Japan later this month, or later next month.
Yeah, I totally agree. Then Cleary. Let's get to Cleary. I think this is fucking absurd. This is crazy. If you want, like, it's kind of, why you just let the French invest in him if he's going to go to rugby?
Yeah. Oh, like the one you wanted, and he's signed up long term now is Isaiah Katoa, who is at the Dolphins and fucking killing it. But he was playing Union as a 10 2 years ago, I want to say, for Barker, 2-3 years ago. So he knows what he's doing. Nathan Cleary, from memory, maybe played like, I don't know, a year and a half at school, and has now again has not played the game for like 10 years now. It's not like Suli or any of those guys who, again, are 2 or 3 years removed. He'd be 10 years removed from just doing something that, like, I don't know, probably just got him out of Thursday period 5 and 6 at the school. Like, and we expect him to go win a home World Cup. Like,
what's your reason for winning, for playing rugby? Yeah,
I like money.
Gets me out of
That's it.
Gets me out of school. I think
it gets me out of biology class.
It's so unbelievably nuts. You cannot think of one good example of someone who's gone from rugby league to rugby union recently. Like, you got Swiley, but he's still 20, 21.
He counts.
But he's still quite young, right? Like,
if you make the switch,
like
the game is at the position right now where if you're switching, you have to have played it significantly growing up, or not be too far removed from it.
Yeah. I mean, like, Benji Marshall went over to the Blues, and that just kind of died in the ass. But
two of us Shaq did the same thing, but yeah. I mean, well, at least played for the All Blacks, but wasn't the same.
And Joey Manu, is that his name? Who's of the Roosters.
He's in Racing right now.
Yeah. So Sam Burgess did all right, but it's just not worth it. And it's also all eyes are on you. Like, it's still you've got that kind of energy to it. So it's like, I mean, really what you're paying for. And if you look at Swiley, perfect. That was a perfect kind of grab. I think if you're going to spend money on Cleary, get that money and spend it on what you said, like Katoa's or the next Katoa who's coming up, and secure those boys coming out of high school.
Yeah. Which is, I think, what they're focused on doing right now.
Yeah. And if we're watching Super AU, we're seeing that. But before we go to Super AU, I do have a question for you, Nathan. Before we go talk about Super AU. If you had to get someone, ignore everything that we've just said and agreed upon. If you had to get someone from league, who would you get?
I'll reinforce what I said. Isaiah Katoa. I get him, play 10. Like, dude, is his Barker highlights up? I don't know if his Barker highlights are still up online. If you're listening to this and you got this far, find his Barker highlights. Dude, he's so good. He is, like, we need a 10. He would be just that guy. He'd be that guy that just settles everything down. Again, a guy you can kind of build the future around. I'm talking like a long-term deal. That'd be our 10 would be set. We'd have essentially Marcus Smith. There, done. I would stick by that fact. You get him still so young, and just build a sort of team around him.
I think like a really funny thing talking about these boys who play, when they're playing rugby league, rugby union. People go, oh, but they played rugby union. But it's kind of like, but what do they like playing? Maybe they don't really vibe with, like, I mean, who's the guy who plays for the Knights? The Kalen Ponga. Like, he just played uni at high school for a bit and got a scholarship. But it's kind of clear that guy really loves playing rugby league. He was never going to come back to union. Like, it's silly.
No, so many of them just play because they're the league schools pick them up in the 15, 16, go, we want you to have a good education, go to this private school. And part of the deal with the private school is you play union for them. So, like, most of them just sort of want to play the sport, not supposed to play for Wallabies or, play Super Rugby. They're just like, I just want to play with my mates. This is a bit more chilled, and I can just sort of throw the ball around.
Well, even on that, like, I really want to know, and I did ask Quade Cooper this. So, Quade, if you're listening, which we know you are, we don't, answer it. Go back and answer it. But I want to know, like, what's percentage of these guys who play, who, like, love it, right? Love playing rugby, love everything about it, versus the guys who are just like, it's a job. Like, I'm good at it. It pays well. I really, yeah.
I reckon more would love it than you realize.
Yeah. Okay. It's just interesting to me, man. Like, I just think, I know, because I've heard that from a lot of soccer players, actually. It just pays bills, and it pays really well. And so, if a Arab club is like, we'll give you what you're getting, but you play half the games. Like, yeah, sure. But I'm
Done.
not playing the best competition, but whatever, get paid. Yeah, cool. But that's my answer to that. I probably want Angus Crichton. We talked about centres, and hopefully you still know how to play that. Or my left field kind of option is Matt Burton, who plays for the Bulldogs, because he plays centre and he's got a huge boot.
Yeah, because that's the big thing about those guys that come over is how you sort of get through the playmaking and all that sort of stuff. I mean, you could play him fullback and he'd be, I can be an excellent union fullback. Matt Burton,
yeah,
it'd be great.
Yeah. Anyways, little headgear too, which is cute.
Yeah, it's nice.
But speaking of future talent, to use this segue for the second time, let's talk about Super AU. Is it AU? It's Super AU. It's not Super.
Super Rugby AUS. AUS.
To distinguish it from the previous Super AU. I'll be frank, I didn't get to watch a whole lot of it, especially last week. There was a game on Friday. I was busy, but I got to watch some of the game in Narrabri, which I loved kind of watching that field. It wasn't perfect, and I loved it. I mean, this is something I've always wanted to see. A real challenge for these pros to play on. It looked like some kid had left a bunger off it the other day. There was this big patch of dirt in the middle. But, yeah, great to see some... It's actually been... I mean, I thought it would be a bit of a damp squib. I mean, how I was thinking about it. But you've got all these players who are using it as their opportunity to state their case. And they're giving a lot of guys game time. So I think, if I'm right, I might be wrong here, but the Waratahs squad, they've announced their squad. I think it's their third hooker. And the hooker who's starting on the weekend is a guy they picked up from the Shoot Shield, who, of course, is just another Kiwi tradie who's come over to Australia for economic reasons. Has gone, might as well play rugby on the weekend, and kills it. Like, of course he does. Just kind of like Charlie Gamble. But, yeah, and so many before him. But, yeah, it's just been so good to see, this talent coming through. And to talk about the whole talent conversation we've had, it's like there's a couple of guys there we can look at developing and hope get game time next year.
But this is part of the development, right? Is you just sort of give these guys a bit of a chance to shine, and you're like, there might be a bit something here, bit something. Like Max Bury is the greatest example. Stuck behind Donaldson, even found himself behind Alex Harford, who's now playing NBC. Comes out and just been the form player of the fortnight, of the first fortnight of action. Like, he's been unbelievable. Even for the Waratahs, like the way they bounced back into the Reds was sensational. You had guys like Talatina, Clem Halaholo come off the bench, like young loose forwards who are essentially battling for the spots that are left by Gleeson and Rob Leota, and just came out and just killed the Reds. Like, this is part of it. Like, this is part of what this competition is all about. Is a coach might have 20 of 23 positions locked in with all these Wallabies and senior players, but those 3 positions are up for grabs. These guys are fighting like tooth and nail for it. But it's just sort of, and then gives again the sort of Australian public just an idea of who could be next. A guy like James Hendren scores 4 tries against the Reds. Will he start for the Waratahs? Not unless a couple of people go down next year, given how good that backline is. But there is stocks back there that can all of a sudden step in if needed. And he's getting so much good experience at fullback in this sort of a very young side. Even with the Brumbies being last, which is a big surprise. But guys like, your Linton Ellis, Tavita Alatinis, who 20s guys coming through the system in the front row, were never going to get big minutes behind Slipper and Alatoa, and even Shop and Van Nick for sort of behind them, but are starting 60, 70 minutes and getting to test themselves against Super Rugby opponents. Like, that's essentially what this tournament's about. So, well, yes, they're like the Force have been the dominant one. It's been a really good sort of tournament all around, just for guys to get big minutes and sort of see where they are.
The Force have been a mad surprise. They've been killing it. But yeah, I think it's that extra opportunity to prove yourself is just so electric, isn't it? And it's that very Super Rugby idea, like you were talking about before, how hopefully with the Changes Rugby Championship, we actually get to be able to play not the best teams in the world again and again. And Super Rugby kind of has that. It's like, you got to beat 4 Kiwi teams and you only get to play them once. Like, you got to take your shot. And this with 3 games, 1 game against each other team, it's the same kind of energy. You really have to take your shot to get picked. And I think there's a final, right? You play 3 and then there might be a final.
Yeah, so it'll be in Perth. The Force have already locked it up because they're 5 points ahead to the Waratahs, and the the first tiebreaker is head-to-head record. So that'll be on Sunday, day after the Bled next week. So if you're around Perth, get down to it.
Yeah, beautiful. But it's just like, it's so good to see and for people to get amongst. And I loved having it at that Narrabri festival they had. That was just fantastic. And hopefully they kind of do that a bit more.
On top of that as well, you had like a weekend where you had like had 19s play, men's, I think 18s women played, 7s throughout. There was I think it was like even an over 35s game. It was just like, turn it into a weekend. Why not? Let this, and they sort of were like, I think the Friday was almost like a mini opening ceremony where the teams are just in the street, just partying and dancing. Like, have a bit of fun with it. Why not?
Yeah, so good. But yeah, I'll definitely try to tune in this weekend if I'm not too busy with my crazy life. But so good to see.
Brumbies tar straight is straight after the Bledisloe, so just roll one into the other.
Oh, if it's on. The AFL Grand Finals on at the same time.
That's two. So again, it's Brisbane versus Collingwood. Who gives a shit in Sydney?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
what's on?
I mean, the people who support the Swans are people who don't support anyway. So they probably.
Oh, sorry. Brisbane and Geelong. Two non-Melbourne-based teams. Not even Melbourne's going to give a shit about
it. Yeah. I guess you want Geelong to win, right? I don't know.
I guess so. Yeah.
Encroaching on Lions territory. Yeah, cool. Okay, I think that's all really. I mean, unless you got anything else to talk about. Slagged off Blake from Rugby Report Card. Deserved it, Blake. That was fucking awful post.
Bad Blake.
I'll tell him.
We kid, of course.
Yeah. Maybe Blake will be at the Trinity again. I bumped into him there. First Lions game. And I think it was half time. We both gave each other a look like, fuck, it's going to be a long year. Still remember that.
But hey.
Yeah. Hasn't turned out.
It all worked out.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Okay, well, on that note, let's see. Thanks for coming along, Nathan. Thank you for editing, Nick, who's not on the call. And thank you, Julie T, for listening. Shout out.
Shout out, Julie T.
All right. Catch everyone, and let's go Wallabies.